During Christmas at my parents' house, my 8-year-old daughter opened her gift box and went pale. She clutched my hand and whispered, "Mommy, I'm scared." I looked inside. The gift seemed normal at first, but then I froze. My hands started shaking. 5 minutes later, I called the police. If you'd asked me that morning what the worst part of Christmas was, I would have said the dried out turkey or my mother humming passive-aggressively through the chaos. Maybe the noise or the performance we all put on to pretend we liked each other. But I was wrong. The worst part was watching my daughter freeze in place with a gift box in her lap. Like the floor had opened beneath her and no one else had noticed. We were at my parents' house, the same one I grew up in. Same creaky floorboards. Same smell of cinnamon potpourri and emotional avoidance. The living room was bursting with people and presents. Kids tearing wrapping paper, adults talking over each other. Laughter, that was a little too loud. In our family, every kid gets a gift from every adult. And sometimes the kids give each other gifts too. It's chaos. Wrapping paper flying, tags going missing, someone always losing track of who gave what. My daughter Maisie had a small mountain of presents beside her. She was happy, genuinely happy, which I hadn't seen in a while. I was watching her from across the room, and for a moment I let myself breathe. She picked up a medium-sized box wrapped in shiny red foil, smiling as she carefully peeled the tape back, like she always does. No rush, just her little hands opening the lid. Then she stopped. Her expression changed so fast I thought I imagined it. Her shoulders tensed. Her smile vanished. Her whole body went still. I froze too. You know that sinking feeling in your stomach? The one that tells you you're about to learn something you can't unlearn? She looked up, her eyes wide and scared. She didn't say anything at first, just stood up slowly like she was afraid the box would explode if she moved too fast. Still holding it, she walked toward me, face drained of color. She reached for my hand and whispered, "Mommy, I'm scared." "Just look. Don't say it." I glanced down. The box was open and her arms tilted slightly toward me. I looked inside. At first, I was confused. It was a toy. Harmless, ordinary. But then I looked closer and froze. Everything around me, the lights, the noise, the smell of baked ham, all of it fell away. It was like time paused. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. I looked up and scanned the room. My dad was laughing, my mom was fussing with the table settings, my sister was deep in conversation with a wine glass in her hand, and the kids were on the floor comparing toys. Everything looked normal, but it wasn't. "Come on," I said quietly. "Let's get some air." Someone behind me called, "Everything okay?" I smiled like a woman whose soul wasn't trying to crawl out through her chest. "She's not feeling great. We'll just be outside for a moment." I took the box and we walked to the car. Neither of us spoke. Maisie climbed into the back seat, curled up, holding her knees. I slid into the front passenger seat and stared at the thing in my hands. The toy, the box. The weight of it. I felt the sting before I realized I was crying. My fingers were cold, my chest was hot. I was holding something small, but it felt like it could crush me. And I knew absolutely, unshakably, that nothing about this day or this life would ever be the same again. 2 minutes later, I called the police. The quiet in the car was heavy, pressing down on us. I could hear my own breath. Maisie's too, shaky, shallow. The lights from the house still glowed through the windshield. Someone laughed inside. I didn't care who. Everything was different now. And if I wanted to explain why, I'd have to start a long time before tonight. I'm the older sister. That alone probably tells you half of it. 5 years between us, me and Megan. From the time she could walk, she was the favorite. I was the reliable one. The one who cleaned up, stayed quiet, did everything right. Megan was the spark. Wild, charming, impossible. Our parents treated her like a firework. Dangerous, but beautiful. I got responsibility. She got attention. I earned straight A's and silence. She earned chaos and forgiveness. The pattern never changed. Megan messed up. I cleaned it up, and no one ever talked about it. Years later, she got married, had 3 kids fast. Everyone said she was finally growing up. She wasn't. She still made reckless choices and expected someone else to carry the weight, usually me. Late-night texts asking for help for the kids, which really meant spa visits or delivery apps. I finally drew a line. You have a husband, I told her. I have a family too. She sulked, but the asking slowed down. By then, my life had changed. I'd met Owen. He had a baby boy, Theo, just over a year old when I came into their lives. His ex had left when Theo was 10 months old. No drama, no fight. She just disappeared. Theo was quiet at first, but sweet. I loved him fast and fully. He started calling me Mom before his 2nd birthday. I didn't correct him. A couple years later, Maisie was born. She came into a house that already had love in it. She and Theo were close from the start. Not half siblings, just siblings. Loud, inseparable, completely bonded. We were a family. We were happy. Until 6 months ago, Theo disappeared during lunch at school. He told his teacher he forgot something in his backpack, left the cafeteria, and never came back. No one saw who he left with. No note, no footage. Just gone. The police searched everywhere, found only his backpack behind a hedge a few blocks away. No ransom, no leads. Owen stopped talking. I stopped sleeping. Maisie cried in her sleep for weeks. We tried to keep going, but it felt like living inside a nightmare we couldn't wake up from. We decided to survive Christmas for Maisie's sake. To smile. To pretend. And then she opened that box. Now we were in the car, me holding the box, her watching me in the mirror. I looked at the toy again. It still looked harmless. But there was a mark, a tiny imperfection, something no one else would notice unless they already knew. And I did. Maisie's voice trembled. He had it when he went to school that day. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. I picked up my phone and called the police. They arrived 15 minutes later, quiet and calm, like they were just checking on a noise complaint. Maisie and I were still in the car, the box between us. My hands were ice. Her knees were tucked up to her chest. When the officers stepped out, I met them halfway up the driveway, box in my arms. They asked a few questions. I answered like I was underwater. When I handed over the toy, I prayed I was wrong. I wasn't. They found a card inside the wrapping to Maisie from Sadie. Sadie was Megan's daughter. The officers stepped inside. Everyone turned to look, voices fading. The room deflated. They asked to speak with Megan and Sadie. Megan didn't resist. They moved into the den. Everything was calm, almost too calm. Sadie said she found the toy in their house, wanted to give it as a gift. Megan said toys were everywhere. It could have come from anywhere. She smiled when she said it, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. Owen arrived while the police were still inside. He stood next to me without a word. We both watched like it was a nightmare replaying in real time. The officers took the toy and said they'd follow up. The party didn't recover. An hour passed, maybe more. I sat at the kitchen table, hands still trembling. Owen leaned against the counter, silent. That was his toy, I whispered. The mark on the wing. He had it with him when he left for school. Owen didn't respond, but we both knew what it meant and what it could mean. Maybe Theo was alive. That thought hit me like fire and ice at the same time. After a while, we stood up. We walked down the hall. The lights were dim, the laughter gone. We passed the Christmas tree, the torn wrapping paper, all the fragments of a normal day that no longer mattered. Megan was sitting alone in the sunroom, scrolling her phone like she could pretend the world hadn't shifted. We stepped inside. She looked up, her smile flickered. "Hey," she said. "Everything's settled now." Owen didn't speak. I did. "We need to talk." Her face twitched. "About what? That toy?" "The one Sadie gave Maisie." "I already told the police," Owen cut her off. "He had that toy when he disappeared." Megan blinked. "You can't be sure." "We are," I said. "Maisie remembers." "I remember." Owen remembers. "He never went to your house. So how did his toy end up there?" She laughed nervously. "Maybe someone brought it over. Maybe he visited once and you forgot." Owen's voice was steady but sharp. "We didn't forget. He never went to your house." Her smile faded. "Why are you doing this?" I stepped closer. "Because the police are going to come back. They'll ask more questions. They'll trace the toy. And when they find out what you did, you won't get the chance to explain first." Her face went pale. She looked at Owen, then at me, then away. "Please don't tell them," she said quietly. "Then tell us first," I said. "Right now?" Megan's hands trembled slightly as she put her phone down on the table. Her eyes darted between me and Owen like a trapped animal looking for an exit. For a few seconds, no one said anything. The Christmas lights flickered behind her, their soft glow reflecting off her tear-streaked face. "Please," she whispered, "just listen before you decide anything." Owen crossed his arms, his jaw tight. I stayed silent. "It wasn't supposed to happen like that," she said. "I didn't mean for it to go so far." My throat went dry. "Go so far, Megan. Where is Theo?" She shook her head quickly, almost panicking. "I don't know. I swear I don't know." "But I didn't take him. I helped someone." I thought I was helping. Owen stepped closer. "Helping who?" Megan pressed her palms against her forehead. "I can't say their name. They promised they'd bring him back." "They said they were keeping him safe." "Safe?" I snapped. "Safe from what?" She looked up at me, eyes wide with fear. "From you?" The words hit like a slap. For a moment, I thought I misheard her. "What?" I whispered. She stood up, backing against the wall as if she needed the distance to breathe. "That's what they said. That Theo wasn't safe with you. That you were." She stopped herself. "That I was what?" I demanded. "That you were too strict, too cold, too much like Mom," she said softly. "They said you scared him sometimes." I thought they were helping him. I didn't know he'd disappear." Owen's voice rose. "Who told you that, Megan?" "Who?" Her eyes darted toward the hallway. "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." "Try us," I said sharply. She swallowed hard. It was his mother. The room spun. Felt like the air had been sucked out of me. "His mother," Owen repeated slowly. "You mean Claire?" Megan nodded. "She came to me months before he went missing. She said she'd cleaned up. She wanted to make things right. She said she didn't want to scare you, but she needed help seeing her son again. She didn't want to go through lawyers or the police. She said she knew you'd never let her near him. And I thought she was telling the truth. I thought if I helped her, it would fix everything." Owen's fists clenched. "You helped a woman who abandoned her child kidnap him?" "I didn't know it was kidnapping," Megan cried. "She said she just wanted to meet him. Just once. She begged me. She said she couldn't live without seeing him." I believed her. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. "So, you arranged it?" I asked. "You told her when he'd be alone." She didn't answer, but her silence was enough. "You told her about his school routine." She nodded slowly, tears streaming down her face. I just gave her the time. I didn't know she'd take him. She promised she'd bring him back. Owen's voice broke. And you never told us. You just watched us fall apart. I thought she would return him. Megan sobbed. She sent me messages saying he was okay, that he was happy. And then she stopped replying. I panicked. Didn't know what to do. You could have told the police. I shouted. Could have told us. She covered her face. I was scared. I thought I'd go to jail. I thought Mom and Dad would hate me forever. Owen turned away, gripping the back of a chair so hard it creaked. Where is she now? He asked. Megan shook her head. I don't know. She moved. Changed her number. I haven't heard from her in months. The room was suffocating. The twinkle of the Christmas lights felt cruel. I took a step closer, lowering my voice, and the toy. Why was it in Sadie's gift? Megan wiped her nose with the back of her hand. It was in a box of old things she dropped off at my house. Jay said Theo didn't need them anymore. I didn't realize Sadie picked one for a gift until it was too late. You expect us to believe that? Owen snapped. You expect us to believe this was all just an accident? It was, she whispered. I swear it was. I looked at her, and for a moment I saw the little sister I used to protect. Terrified, lost, but this time she wasn't just in trouble. She was the reason our son was gone. You have to tell the police everything, I said quietly. If there's any chance Theo is still alive, they need to know where to look. She shook her head violently. No, please. They'll arrest me. You deserve to be arrested, Owen said through gritted teeth. You deserve worse. Megan sank to the floor, sobbing. I was trying to help. But the words didn't mean anything anymore. That night, the police came back. We told them everything about the toy, about Megan, about Claire. They took Megan away in handcuffs while my parents cried in the doorway. Sadie stood frozen on the stairs, clutching a stuffed bear. Maisie watched from the car, her face pressed to the window. I didn't know what to tell her. How do you explain to a child that her aunt helped steal her brother? The weeks that followed blurred together, interviews, search warrants, endless waiting. Every morning I woke up hoping for news. Every night I went to bed imagining Theo's face, his voice, his laugh. We found out Claire had fled the state months ago. The police traced her car to a small town in Oregon, but by the time they arrived, the house was empty. They found traces, a blanket, a toothbrush, a set of clothes that could have been his. But no Theo. The trail went cold again. Megan pled guilty to obstruction and withholding information. She got 3 years. My parents stopped speaking to each other. Christmas became a word we didn't use anymore. 3 months later, I got a call from Detective Harris. We might have something, he said. My heart stopped. What is it? A woman matching Claire's description was spotted at a rest stop in Nevada. She was traveling with a young boy. We're checking the cameras now. I couldn't breathe. Is it him? It's too early to say, he said. But there's hope. Hope, that word had felt foreign for so long I almost didn't recognize it. Owen and I packed bags that night. We couldn't just sit and wait anymore. We drove 4 hours across states following updates from the detective. 2 days later, they found her. A small diner off the highway. A woman and a boy eating pancakes. The description matched. When the police went in, the woman panicked. She tried to run, but the boy stayed. He turned when they called his name, and when he did, the world started again. Theo. He was thinner, quieter, older somehow, but it was him. Alive, safe. When they brought him out, I didn't know whether to laugh or collapse. He looked at me for a long moment, like he wasn't sure it was real. Then he whispered, "Mom." and I broke. Owen held him, both of them shaking, both crying. Claire was arrested. She said she took him because she wanted to save him from the wrong family. In court, she claimed she'd been manipulated by someone else, that Megan had told her we were unfit. It didn't matter. She was sentenced. Megan's sentence was extended. Theo came home, but coming home wasn't simple. He didn't talk much at first. He flinched at loud noises. He didn't like to be alone. Restarted therapy. Slow steps. Maisie stayed close to him every moment, like she was afraid he'd disappear again. Sometimes I'd find them both asleep on the couch, holding hands. It took time, months, before the house started to feel like home again, before laughter returned, before I could walk past his empty room without my chest tightening. But the fear never truly left. One night, a few weeks after he came back, I went to check on him. He was awake, staring at the ceiling. Can't sleep? I asked softly. He shook his head. Do you remember where you were? I asked carefully. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "She told me you didn't want me anymore." But I knew she was lying. I felt tears fill my eyes. "I will always want you," I whispered. "Always." He smiled faintly and turned over. I stood there for a long time, listening to his breathing, memorizing the sound. Months passed, seasons changed. We started celebrating small things again. Birthdays, picnics, silly movie nights. We didn't talk about Christmas. Not yet. Not until this year. Maisie asked if we could have one. Just us. No big family, no guests, no chaos. Just the four of us. Owen, me, Theo, and Maisie. I agreed. We put up a small tree. Theo helped hang ornaments. Maisie topped it with a star. For the first time in a long time, it felt like peace. Later that night, after the kids were asleep, Owen handed me a small box. "It's not much," he said, smiling. I opened it. Inside was the same toy, repaired, cleaned, and placed on a newsstand. "I thought we should keep it," he said softly. Not as a reminder of what happened, but of what we got back. I nodded, tears falling silently. That toy, once a symbol of loss, now stood for survival, for family, for the impossible becoming real again. I placed it on the mantel beside the stockings. The lights twinkled against it, soft and warm. For the first time in years, I felt safe. I looked at Owen. "Merry Christmas," I whispered. He smiled. "Merry Christmas." Outside, snow began to fall. Inside, our family, broken, mended, scarred, finally felt whole again.